It's the 49ers versus the Giants. That's right. Big NFC game right here. The game plan. Can Kyle Shanahan outsmart Daboll? We about to find out. Welcome to the show. Smash that like button and stick around, faithful.
So bright that we shine it. All we do is the Niners. Ready to go, that is fine. We're so faithful to the bay. I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24-karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy B tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezie, the 4-9 preacher. We so bright that we shine it.
What's going on, faithful to the Bay? It's your boy Wayne Breezie, and we are in the building. You already know what time it is. Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Round of applause to everybody out there. Shout out to the Breezie Bunch crew out there. Now, John Chapman is traveling today, and so I decided I was going to do the game plan a little bit differently. I decided that I'm going to let you chime in on your offensive game plan. So when I post the link, you're going to be able to come in and give me either an offensive take or a defensive take on how you feel we're going to win this game. All right. So we're going to do that. And I think that's going to be fun. I would love to hear from you, especially all the Breezie Bunch crew members out there, subscribers, as well as everybody else that's just first time watching the channel. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. It's important. Got to smash the like button, okay? Smash that like button, all right? Feel free, leave a comment. We got the live comment section going on right now. If you're watching the show on the repass, leave a comment in the comment section, all right? And I'll make sure throughout the weekend I'll get a chance to respond to you. And, you know, if you have a question or anything like that, just put it in the comment section, all right? It's super easy. You can support right here using PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, if you choose. Or right now you can take advantage, become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. Just click on the join button. That's all you got to do. Click on the join button, and it'll preface you what to do next. Plus, you'll get the opportunity to take advantage of the perks that you have as being a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. All right. So this weekend, 49ers, Giants, it's probably going to be a hell of a game because I feel like the Giants always play the 49ers hard for some reason. Like, you know, I mean, the last time we played them was in 2023. We kind of blew them out, but I feel like they play relatively hard. And just looking at the Giants and their opponents this year and the changes that they've made, I feel like in each game that they played, even with the Russell Wilsons, I feel like they played hard. Now, they only have 2 wins on the season, but don't look at the wins and losses. Pay attention to how these guys actually play football. They're dealing with injuries just like the 49ers are dealing with injuries. So I think it's going to be a better game than what we think. Now, I expect the 49ers to go out there and dominate, but that's going to come down to the game plan, faithful. Let's do member shout-outs. We got to do our member shout-outs. Miss Peachy in the building. Happy Halloween. Thank goodness it's Friday. Breezy and everyone with the hashtag faithful to the Bay. And Breezie Bunch. Yeah, it is Halloween, isn't it? And I probably should have a mask on or something, but I'm just not feeling the mask. I can barely breathe. I'm not putting on no damn mask. Don't bother me in the building. Good morning, Wayne and Peachy. Ben in the building as well. Good morning, hashtag BB, the familiar. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook and X as well. We are live over there. Tanisha in the building. She says, good morning, Breezy. What's going on? Brandy in the building. Hey, Breezy. What's good? What's good? What's good? I mean, everything is good. You know, everything is Gucci. I like the Friday shows because we get to kind of like dive into the game plan from like a coach's perspective and what you would do as a coach. That's what John is here. We had Dion on last week. You know, we've had Anthony from their podcast as well, their 49ers podcast, 49ers Cutback. So we had him on as well. So, like, I'm trying to get different people on here, but today I wanted to open it up to you, like those that watch and all that type of stuff. So, like, this is going to be interesting. Can't wait to hear your takes. Now, if you didn't get a chance, man, make sure you check out the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk Show. We previewed the game. So we kind of like went more in depth from a 3 perspective view, myself, Peachy, Mose, on, you know, how we preview, how we see the game. And today we're going to kind of like dive into some specifics. But let's just do some recap. Niners signing offensive lineman Brandon Parker to the practice squad. They released Andre Dillard from the practice squad. They also signed defensive end Cleveland Farrell to the practice squad. They traded for defensive end Keon White. Now, other news, Niners seem to be a bit replenished after the last practice report. That's a great sign, right? They seem to be a bit replenished. Now, Ben Barch was limited all week in practicing, returning off the IR. Will he play this week? I don't know. We shall see how that pans out for the San Francisco 49ers. But Jake Brendo did not practice. Spencer Burford was a full practice candidate. Now, his window opened up last week to return from the IR. I do expect Spencer Burford to be activated to the active roster, the 53-man roster. And I'm going to be honest, he's probably, if Ben Barch isn't activated, he's probably going to start at the left guard position. All right. So expect the offensive line to get shaken up a little bit and look a tad bit different out there with the health of Spencer Burford. So it'll be Trent Williams, Spencer Burford, Matt Hennessy will be the center again due to the injury to Jake Brendo. All right. And then you'll have Dominic Pooney and Colt McKivitz on the right side. So I think the offensive line is going to get a little tweaking, hopefully for the best. Alfred Collins was limited in practice on yesterday from after not practicing. So if he was limited, I'm expecting him after today's practice. He should be a full go, and he's going to be good to go. Kalia Davis was a full go at practice. Jordan Elliott was limited both days. He was dealing with an injury from the game. He'll probably play. Here's an interesting name, guys. Yetur Gross-Matos. Okay? Now, this right here is the one I'm going to ring the bell on. Why? Because before the injury, he was one of the top pass rush win rate guys for the San Francisco 49ers. I know we were getting the sacks from Bryce Huff, the Nick Bosa, those sacks, but this guy was winning his pass rushes, right? And so that's what I love. So if he's a full go on today's practice and he's able to play, this should be some great news for the San Francisco 49ers. That is too funny. Mike's on his channel suffocating in his Halloween mask right now. That is too funny. I can't do it. My sinuses is all acting up. You know what I'm saying? All acting up. Don't bother me. It says our O-line play has me watching the O-line even more while watching college ball. You're not lying, right? And so I tell you what, like after watching the film, the O-line play isn't bad on every play. It's the plays that they're bad on are when you see like, oh, why didn't this throw make it? And then when you watch the film, you're like, oh, there was a pressure in Mac Jones' face. I was talking to Peachy and Mose last night, and I was saying to them, do you know that pass to Sky Moore, the attempt to Sky Moore? And when we watched it, we were like, what the hell is Sky Moore doing? He just wasn't on the same page. He was lost in the sauce. When I watched it on the film, I realized that there was pressure in his face. I believe it was Matt Hennessy or Colt McKivitz, one or the other, right? There was pressure in his face, and he had to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker. And so Sky Moore just wasn't ready for the pass to be released that quick. He was trying to run the route and, whatever. And so, yeah, you could blame Sky Moore for it, but there was pressure in Mac Jones's face. So, like, the offensive line, they're giving up these pressures, and I think that's the key, right? Like, they're not giving up sacks, but they're just giving up disruptive pressures, and I think that is the issue this year with the offensive line. Like, these quarterbacks aren't sacked much. They do get sacked, but they aren't sacked much. And some of the sacks be on the quarterback. Like they step up in the pocket, they go back in the pocket, they take the sack. Some of them be on the actual quarterback. But, the offensive line, don't bother me, is different. I agree. It has us watching the offensive line a lot differently. Eddie G and the B-Dogs, what's good, faithful? What's going on, man? Felicia in the building. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. On my show the other night, I definitely attempted to do the Vincent Price Thriller monologue, darkness it feels in the air, all that, whatever. I don't know about her, but I was reading it. But I was trying, you know what I'm saying? But I was having fun, having fun at my show the other night. But, so just on the defensive front, though, the Yetur Gross-Matos is the one that I got the guy named Circle because if he's back on the defensive front, oh man, this will be a blessing in disguise for the San Francisco 49ers. This will be a blessing in disguise for the San Francisco 49ers. I can tell you that right now. So that's a key. That is key to me, in my opinion. All right, let's get to the rest of the practice report. We know Bryce Huff didn't practice, but they're saying he may be available week 10 versus the Rams. So that's interesting. Juwan Jennings, full practice. Mac Jones, full practice. George Kittle, full practice. Christian McCaffrey, full practice. Sam Okuano, who left the game on a cart, ladies and gentlemen, was limited in practice. Will he be good to go? Brock Purdy, limited in practice. We already know he's dealing with a toe injury. Ricky Pearsall did not practice, but the signs are all pointing up that he is recovering and he might be good to go in a week or so. All right, Upton Stout, limited. Trent Williams, full practice. D. Winters, limited in practice. All right, so the Niners are going to have some key defensive players back. And defensively, they have to be a lot better than they were in week 8. Defensively, the San Francisco 49ers got to be a lot better than week 8. Boom. And when I say a lot better, I mean a lot freaking better. A lot better, in my opinion. All right, so let's go to the Giants. So the Giants, their practice report. Now, I just got word that their number one cornerback, Cordell Flott, is dealing with a concussion. He will not play in this game. And then Paulson, Daboll is not going to play. Well, he hasn't practiced all week. All right, so he hasn't practiced all week. So 9 times out of 10, he's not going to play. Their tight end, Daniel Bellinger, probably won't play, did not practice. Jermaine Ellimore, their tackle, did not practice for 2 straight games. He's dealing with a pec injury. He's probably going to be ruled out. Chauncey Golston, a defensive lineman, did not practice for 2 straight days. He's probably going to be ruled out. Art Green, another cornerback, did not practice for 2 straight days, probably going to be ruled out. Wide receiver Jalen Hyatt was a full practice go. Offensive lineman Greg Van Rosen, full practice go. Wide receiver Bo Collins, he was limited in practice. Javon Holland, their safety, limited in practice. Chris Martinez, another tight end, limited. Cornerback Rico Payton, full practice. And safety Tyler Nubin, full practice. So the Giants are, like I said, the Giants are dealing with some injuries as well. And it sounds like they're going to have some players out in this game. And so, this to me, when you read that their number 1 and number 2 corners may be outside guys, right? Immediately that sends me an alert, right? So I'm just like, they don't have their number 1 and number 2 corners. So that means they're going to go in there with a number 4, number 5 corner, because I really do like Drew Phillips, but I think Drew Phillips is going to be the guy that lines up in the slot. So I think that's going to be their nickel back. You know what I mean? Which I would love to put Juwan in the slot over Drew Phillips and let him cook over the little corner. But it's going to be interesting to see what Kyle Shanahan does against these corners. I still think you attack the middle, the linebackers. That would be part of my game plan. I would attack these linebackers. They're just not great in coverage, in my opinion. So if you can get to the ball over the middle, George Kittle, if you get Christian McCaffrey in the matchups with the linebackers, go after those linebackers. But now I'm curious to see, are these corners, because they're not their starting corners, are they going to play off? If so, man, Kendrick Bourne will probably have a good game, because now you could slant up. It's hard to slant. It's hard to slant when you're pressing. When the corners are pressing, it's hard to slant. It's hard to create that separation. Rob, he says, anybody coming back from an injury is a blessing, not really a disguise. You're right. You're right. I got to be careful with my words. You're right. Everybody returning from an injury is a blessing. 1,000%. I agree with that. Matthew, what's going on? What's up, Favor? Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Blessed we are here. All right. Great one with some stats. He says, San Francisco offensive line 19th in sacks and only a 33.2 pressure rate. That's 26. So he's giving you where they're ranked as far as allowing. Are you talking about, where they're as far as allowing sacks? And then he's giving you where the pressure rate is. And that pressure rate is bad because look at who we lost. I mean, you lost Nick Bosa, you lost Yetur, you lost Bryce Huff. You're losing key players for some games, and now you're asking your depth to come in and generate pressure, which is probably why the San Francisco 49ers went out there and they made a couple of moves, right? They made the move of trading for Keon White. Now in the chat, like you've had a few days. All right, in the live chat, you've had a few days. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about the Keon White trade? Now you got all the details. All right, so just in case you don't remember, the 49ers traded for Keon White, and in return, they gave the Giants a 6th round pick. Now, the Giants in return gave up Keon White and a conditional 7th round pick. The condition is if Keon White is active for at least 7 games or more, that pick goes out of the water and the Niners just get Keon White. So I want people to understand that is what it is, okay? That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. Now, oh, that pressure rate was from R1. My bad. I read you wrong. I agree. They don't give up sacks. The offensive line doesn't give up a lot of sacks. They give up pressures and quarterback hits. So they give up. They force our quarterbacks to hurry up. Is what I'm trying to say. And so and then when you got a guy like Mac Jones, who's more stationary, he's gonna be more accessible to taking those hits, opposed to moving outside the pocket, avoiding the big hit, and things like that. Now he's staying in the pocket and he's trying to deliver the pass. And so yeah, that's what our offensive line is doing. But as far as them giving up sacks, they've been playing pretty good. They've been playing pretty good. All right. I do love this. Now, I did ask about the trade for White, but I wanted to shout out one of the members. Don't Bother Me. He says, it's wild that Scatterable said he looked forward to playing against us, against Warner. Him and Warner out with similar injuries. Isn't that crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? When you think about it, the ankle, same way. Warner's didn't look that bad, though. I would say that. Scatterable's looked 10 times worse than Fred Warner's. But the injuries are definitely similar, and I think we all would have loved to see the clash of the Titans. You know what I'm saying, at the line of scrimmage. You know, Scatterable is a hard runner. Wasn't he leading the? I think he was leading the league in forced missed tackles, like just breaking tackles. I mean, that kid does not go down on first contact, and so. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I kind of wanted to see, I know Warner's been out, but I would have wanted to see him and Tatum Bethune as well. Like, Bethune is a thumper. So that would have been like, the Big Bang Theory right there. Those two guys collide. Shout out to Drew over on Facebook. He says, love the trade for White. Let's talk about Keon White a little bit and probably what we can expect of him. The good news is he's not out of football shape. And so he can be a plug-and-play guy. Right away. I think what's making this trade even more better, or however you want to say it, is the fact that he can be used. He's versatile. He's an edge, but he's an interior guy as well. Kind of like in between, kind of like that Solomon Thomas tweener type guy. But the thing I like about him is his size. He's 6'5", he's 285. So I get it. He's not 250 with the speed, but he's also not like 290, you know what I'm saying, with the power. But he's right in between. But his size and his arm length, those measurables, to me is what makes him stand out. Now, here's the kicker. The cool thing is, if you do get back Yetur Gross-Matos, like if he does play, this allows him to freely rush the passer from the inside. So you're literally putting 4 run stuffing, pass rushing defensive linemen out there on the defensive line. I think Robert Saleh's going to have a field day with this kid. I think Chris Koseric's going to have a field day with this kid. I think they're going to be able to tap into his potential and get the best out of him. I really saw some bright spots from him when he played for New England. I know a lot of people from New England don't really know or talk much about him because he only gave them like 2 years, and this being his 3rd year, he just wasn't used. And so I think another misused person will be here in San Francisco and get utilized properly. You can say the same thing about Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff had we were all worried. Oh, Bryce Huff wasn't the man since he left New York. He went to Philly. He was terrible. Yeah. And back then we were saying he was misused. He went to a different system. He went to a different scheme. And so now I think there were 3-4 out there, right? And so now he's back in the scheme, which he's what he thrived in, the Robert Saleh scheme, the 4-3, wide 9. And it just so happened that Bryce Huff is one of the top 20 pass rushers in the league, right? And so, like, I'm kind of ecstatic about this trade. I think it definitely it doesn't move the needle, but it definitely adds great depth for rotative purposes only. And if he has to go out there and start, you know that you're dealing with a former second round pick that has the potential to be a starter. So I do love the trade, Drew. I really do. I do love the trade. Great one. I got you, bro. I'm with you. I was just reading it and missing context, but thank you for explaining it. Yes, I agree. Thank you for the facts, bro. Appreciate that. 1,000%. And so just looking at, signing Cleveland Farrell. Now, please expect Cleveland Farrell to be active on game day. I think he'll get his 2 or 3 standard elevations, and then the Niners, if he performs, the Niners are probably sign him to the active roster and release another player. Now, I do want to ask you guys about this. What are your thoughts on waiving Drew Moss? He was the undrafted free agent offensive lineman that a lot of people were high on. How are you feeling about that? Now, he did get picked up by another team, so he is on another team at this point. But for people that wanted the Niners to get offensive linemen, they had a prospect and they kind of let him go. You know what I'm saying? I guess to make room for whatever they had to make room for. What are your thoughts about that? Because Connor Colby wasn't working. But the Niners seem to be getting back. We talked about Spencer Burford. It sounds like next week or even this week they might get Ben Barch back, so they'll get their guard back, and then Spencer goes back to swing tackle. So maybe there just wasn't room for him to be on the practice squad because the defensive rotation is key right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next person that they let go is like the William Bradley King. And so he might be let go. As long as Sebastian Valdez remains on his practice squad, in my opinion, we Gucci, because that kid is strong. And I think him and Evan Anderson, I feel like will provide a greater push up front. I just feel like those guys are strong. They're not getting pushed back. And that's what I saw in this game. I saw Kevin Givens. Oh, God. I saw Kevin Givens get knocked on his tail feather by the fullback, number 44. Like, literally. And I was like, dang, that can happen? It was just like the fullback just lunged at him and just put his whole force into a defensive tackle, and Kevin Givens was on his behind, and it was a 14-yard run up the middle. So the defensive front can't be getting pushed and bullied like that. Not in this game. And I guarantee you the Giants are going to come out and try to do that with their running backs, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary. Like, they're going to try to bully us. And the Niners need to be ready to be the bullies. I know people don't like to use that term bullies, but at the end of the day, the Niners need to be ready. So what is it going to look like in the preview of this game? All right, so look, Niners are favored, I believe, still by 2.5 points on the road. Okay, sounds like it's going to be cold, 46 degrees, however you want to look at it. Broken clouds, 1 p.m. So that's the high, right? Because it's 1 p.m. So it's going to be a little chilly. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too much wind. So it's going to be good weather for the San Francisco 49ers. And the Niners, as far as the series, they lead the series against the Giants. And they also won that last game, which doesn't really hold any weight because you got new players, new regimes, new this, new that. I think that was, though, back during the Saquon era, if I'm not mistaken. And so for the San Francisco 49ers, just being on the road, being on the East Coast, playing on that turf, there's just so many negative factors that go into why the Niners are going to have to play again against through adversity. What about the trauma? I just think there's a lot of things that may force the San Francisco 49ers to just play a little timid. And you can't come out here timid. I think whatever happens. You leave it on a football field, but you come out here with a dominant mindset and you come out here to win this game. You can't have any timid inside of you whatsoever, because certain people, certain teams, certain players will feast off of that, and they'll take that and use that to their advantage. I think the Niners need to be the aggressors. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? Do you think the Niners need to be the aggressors out there? It's time for them to stop looking like they're the bullied and become more of the aggressor out there on the football field. I'm not saying they got to score 49 points, although we would love that, but they need to look like they're the more dominant team. They're the team with the better record. They're the team with the better coaching. They're the team with the better players. They're the team. Like, if you're the better team, then I'm expecting the San Francisco 49ers to be the better team. Even statistically, just looking at these stats, the Niners are the better team. That's just what it is. The Niners are the better team. And so this is going to be interesting because you got the 30th ranked run defense. If they're ranked 30th in run, I mean, numero uno, you're running the damn ball, right? Right? Like, I'm running the ball. I'm going to run the freaking ball. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run. They can't stop the run. No matter how good that defensive front is, it's more of a pass rush than it is a run-stopping defense. And if they can't stop, they're giving up 148. So they're giving up almost 150 yards per game. That's what they're doing on the ground. They're giving up that amount. Now, the question is going to be, right? Here's the question. The $1 million question is, how aggressive will Kyle Shanahan be with the run game? Because they're going to stop some runs. They're going to get a tackle for a loss. But do you go away from it? Drew says 100% needs to be aggressive. I couldn't agree more, Drew. Like, I couldn't agree the more. Because in this game, the Niners got to set the tone. They got to set the tone. And how do they set the tone? Well, start by running the ball. Now, don't get it twisted. I expect them to pass the ball too. But why not establish the run, get into a rhythm? When I say rhythm, I'm not just talking about quick throws and this is that for the quarterback. No, I'm talking about a rhythm-based offense. I'm talking about executing the run game and the pass game. It has to be in a flow. And I just feel like the Niners offense doesn't have that flow, that hustle and flow, right? Like, they're just more, all right, we're going to come out here, we're going to see what they're doing, and then we'll live and learn from the next play. Or what happened to the San Francisco 49ers offense that ran the scripted plays to almost perfection, better than any team in the league? Like, how are we missing that? We just got back George Kittle. So how is it that the offense can't figure out how to create or generate some type of rhythm out there so that they can move the ball? The biggest down factor from last week against the Texans was that the Texans' time of possession, that junk was in the 40s. So there's only 60 minutes in a game. So it was over 40 to where the Niners had the ball like under 20 minutes. And they put up 15 points. But time of possession, in my opinion, is key, especially on the road. You got to know how to sustain drives and score on those drives. Even if you're kicking field goals, you got to find ways to score points on the road. It's not a home game for the San Francisco 49ers. So the San Francisco 49ers got to figure out, all right, man, how we going to do this? How we going to do that? All right, let's get these plays called up. And the players, they got to go out and execute. I hate to be that type of a person where, all I talk about, the players don't execute the play. They don't. Like, what are we watching? How many times you see a player drop a pass? Where's the execution in that? How many times you see a player miss a block? Where's the execution in that? You can't blame that on the coaching. You can't blame that on the scheme. You can't blame that on anything. Yeah, do I agree with every call Kyle Shanahan calls out there? No. But I still expect the players to go out there and execute to their best ability. Negative plays. The Niners got to figure out how to stop getting those negative plays. Those scary plays that make them start behind, first and 15 because there's a penalty. First and or a negative 1 yard run or a negative 5 yard pass or what. They got to erase that negativity, in my opinion. The Niners have too many negative plays, which takes them out of rhythm. It takes them out of rhythm. I'm hoping Kyle Shanahan says, hey, let's just figure out how we're going to move the ball by running it. And you have plenty of options. You can check out my Keys to Victory reel. I put it as a reel now, opposed to as an actual video, because some people were complaining about the cut-ups. I feel like cut-ups work better as reels, so you can see it as a reel. All right? So when you look at it, I'm just like, the Niners got to run the ball. I don't care if it's Christian McCaffrey, Brian Robinson Jr. We know it's not going to be Isaac Guerrero. We know it's not going to be Jordan James. Hell, give Kyle Juszczyk some runs. Mac Jones is going to have to run. If Brock Purdy plays, he's going to have to run. The Niners have to run the ball. They have to run the ball. They have to figure out how to establish that run. You know what I mean? Because if not, it's going to be a long freaking day. We're going to be punting the ball, and then all of a sudden we're going to be mad, and we're going to be pissed as fans. What is wrong with our team? And then we're going to blame the offensive line. Yep, the offensive line definitely has to be better in run blocking, 100%. They have to be, but at the end of the day, the Niners got to stick to the game plan and try to move this ball on the ground. I promise you, the more successful they are in running, the easier it will be for them to throw the ball because the defense will no longer be able to cheat. And expect the Giants defense to come out, especially with their corners missing. They're going to go off the strength of their linebackers in the run game. Those guys are good. Mausau and Okiriki, I forgot how you say his name. Those dudes are good tacklers. In space, playing downhill. They got the linebackers. They got the edge rushers. Those guys are good. I'm with Chrissy right here. It's a run Forrest run type day. All right, let's play a little over or under. Over or under, the Niners will have 147 rushing yards. Over or under. You could put the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you're watching the live show. If you're going to watch this on the repass or if you're listening to it on the podcast, you probably could leave a comment on the podcast. If you're going to be watching this later, put it inside, over or under. Like, you know what I mean? What do you guys think? 147 rushing yards. That is not from Christian McCaffrey, ladies and gentlemen. That is totality, 147 rushing yards, which is let's see. The Niners average 89.5 rushing yards per game. So y'all figure out that math. 147. They average 89. This will boost their average, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Jacqueline Knox to you. Oh, I feel like she talking trash to somebody out there. She talking this to me. All right. So it's Jacqueline Knox, ladies and gentlemen. So we can't call her anything else but Jacqueline Knox, since her name says Jacqueline Knox to you. She says, gracing you guys with my presence. Happy Halloween to my favorite people. Enjoy the show. Thank you for being a member for 30 months. 6 more months to be 3 years, right? 12 months in a year, 6 more months. All right, so let's get to some of these thumbs up. Don't bother me. He feels like we're going to do it. Okay, I could dig it, Chrissy. Yeah, really? Drew says over. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. They have to. Like, they have to. They have to figure out how to successfully establish and sustain. I think sustaining is the key word here, right? Because I think the Niners, they got to get some explosive runs. Last week, I was appalled that the longest run, and you can watch the video on my Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Wayne Breezie. Get the gold package and you can, or get the black package and you can watch these videos, right? The black tier. I was appalled that the Niners' longest run was 10 yards. And it was by Mac Jones. I was like, dang, like, I know Houston Texans defense is good, but they were like 10th against the run. And they made it seem like we couldn't run the ball for nothing. Now, part of that was because we were trailing. And that right there is what I'm talking about. So, like, even if all right, so this is where it comes into play, right? Like, so even if the San Francisco 49ers can't seem to get stuff going offensively, my expectations are that the defense need to hold them out of the end zone as well. The Niners can't afford to trail in this game. The thing that set them back against the Texans was the simple fact that they were losing 13-0. You remember? And so, like, I know that's not a lot, but that's 13 points that you have to overcome and find a way to get back. And yeah, the Niners had the first turnover in the game, but they got 0 points off that turnover. And as a matter of fact, when they got back at the half, what did the Niners do? They punted the ball. So they didn't even get points off the turnover, and they didn't get any points off of the deferment from the beginning of the game. They got 0 points in both of those categories. Kyle Shanahan, every time the Niners win the toss, they defer, right, to the second half. Well, the Niners got to figure out ways how to score, you know what I'm saying, coming out of halftime. And they did score before the interception, but I'm talking about after the interception because Demo ran the ball, clock ran out. So that's what I meant. They did score before the end of the first half. but they didn't score after the turnover is what I'm trying to say. Now, eventually they did get a touchdown to Jake Tonjes, which was a beautiful play. I mean, you had both tight ends going to be wide open. And if I was Mac Jones, I love Jake Tonjes, but I would have hit George Kittle. George Kittle was wide open too. A little tougher throw. Little not tougher, but like, it would have been the further throw. But they were running the same route. It was just levels to it. They were super parallel. I thought it was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I really did. I thought it was pretty cool. So you guys got to understand, like, the San Francisco 49ers cannot fail to trail. They can't afford to trail. Let me say that right there. They can't afford to trail. Okay? Because if the Niners are trailing, and they will abandon the run. And if they abandon the run, it's going to be a shootout. And if it's a shootout on the road, I feel like the Niners will put themselves in the same scenario that they were in Houston. And it'll be tough. It'll be tough to overcome. In my opinion. That's my opinion. All right. Now, look, I want to open up the phone lines for a few minutes. Not the phone lines, but I want to know what the game plan is. You guys see the stats. You guys see that the Niners are the more dominant team, you know what I'm saying, in this league. They're in this game. They're the more dominant team, but none of that means anything on Sunday. Like, stats don't matter. It's 0-0. I don't care if they struggling. They're 30th in stopping the run. I don't care if they're 16th in stopping the pass or they're 27th in stopping the 25th stopping the pass. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is what the Niners are going to do for the game plan in this game. So I'm going to put the link in here in the chat for you guys. If you guys want to click on the link, come on. You can come up here, man. Give us a take. Give us your take. What do you feel like the Niners are going to do offensively or defensively? Pick one side, please. I just want to leave some time for those that want to get on the show to get on the show. This show is for you guys. You do not have to be a member to partake in this exercise. You do not have to be a member, but if you're watching in live, and it's going to be going, I'm going to try to send it to all the platforms because I know all the platforms are watching. All right. I'm trying that. You know what I'm saying? So click on that link if you want. Come on here, man. Give me 2 minutes of your take, of your time. We'll get you in, we'll get you out. And you don't even have to be on camera. You could do it from the audio of your phone. So if you're at work and you don't want to be caught at work, no problemo. I got you, baby. I just realized they got sound effects here. Well, all right. Go ahead, StreamYard. Ooh, we got the heart. What else we got? Oh, man. I feel like I'm in the Karate Kid. Oh, we got the bounce. Oh, what? We got a drum roll. Why is the drum roll on the bongos? Drum roll needs to be on the snare drum. We got to fix that. Come on, StreamYard. Get your sounds right, baby. Here go my music. I just realized that there's music here that I put in here. I forgot that I uploaded some tracks. Anyway, let's go, man. Let me know what you guys think. Click on that link as far as the game plan. You know what I'm saying? Prince, if not, I'm going to put out some comments, members, as well. So Prince Laban says, okay, my brother, I hear what you're saying about how you want to bet that our quarterback will get sacked during the game. Remember, we don't have an O-line, is trash. Okay, what I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that Mac Jones or Brock won't get sacked. They have a pass rush. Let me just remind you who plays for the New York Giants, because I think a lot of people feel like because their record is 2-6, or whatever their record is, 2-5, they just don't have anybody, right? No. They have Brian Burns. They have the neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, whatever you want to call him. That's what we call him, Spider-Man, right? So they have him. They also have Kayvon Thibodeau. That's the guy a lot of 49er players were hoping that the Giants would trade to us because he's on that expiring contract. And then he was a first-round pick. And then they got this year's first-round pick and Abdul Carter. They have a pass rush. So the one thing that they're going to be able to do is find ways to get to the passer. Now, when I watched the Houston film, Prince, what bothered me was the speed rush. So Will Anderson was smart. First of all, they lined him up on Colt McKivit's side. And for some reason, Will Anderson was just beating anybody that lined up on his side with the quick first step. It was the quick first step, and then he was already, after the first step, that that lineman, that center, whatever, whoever was trying to block him was just off balance. And by the time they got their feet set, he was around them. So the pressure in Mac Jones' face was crazy. Now, Brian Burns, if you thought Will Anderson was a problem, if you thought Daniil Hunter was a problem, Brian Burns is going to be a mother freaking force. Okay? Like, the guy is that, to me, that guy. He's that guy. A little older, doesn't matter. Who's leading the Giants? Who's their sack leader? Giant sack leader. Let's just see. Because they got a defensive front. I'm not gonna lie. That defensive front is tough. I'd be stupid if I said it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So Drew Phillips leads them in interceptions. He has 2 on the year. Okirike has 68 tackles. He's their linebacker. He's their Fred Warner. He just can't cover. I could tell you that right now. You know what I mean? He's just terrible in coverage. All right. Now, as far as their sack leader, give me a second. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. This is this year? All right. All right. Here we go. Brian Burns has 10 sacks on the season. He has 10 sacks. I see you, Melissa. I'm going to bring you in a second. Kayvon Thibodeau has 2.5. Garcia 1. Okirike 1. Masu 1. And Abdul Carter has a half a sack. Dexter Lawrence has a half a sack. Darius Alexander, another guy I was high on in the draft, half a sack. But none of that matters. This guy has 10 sacks. And I can tell you right now, he's going to be lined up on Colton McKivit's side. All right? I can tell you that right now. Now, SF49 Quest 46 was up with the updated Madden sim. So I wasn't going to update it. The roster clearly wasn't out when I did the Madden sim. But check out the Madden sim because I think we whipped their ass, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go check it out. You know what I mean? Check out that Madden sim. It's pretty cool. All right, Melissa, give me the thumbs up. I'll bring you in. And I can't wait to hear your takes on today's show. So let's get Melissa on here very quickly. And let me just get my overlay done. And here she comes. Melissa, what's going on?
Hey, Breezy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing
Been
really
a while.
good. I know. Are you going to be at the game this weekend?
I don't have money. I'm hopefully Nick Para is going to let me go to the Rush road trip without being able to pay, but I'll gladly clean up and set everything up if that's what it takes. I want to be able to do one Rush road trip, and it's in my home state, so hopefully. Yeah,
just let me know, and we'll get you in there so you can have some fun with the faithful. You know what I mean? What's your take? Because you had a lot to say last night on the show. I was reading your comments.
My dad actually told me to come on and talk to you because he heard some of the things that you guys were talking about, and we had a laugh about it going to Quick Check today.
That is funny. So
he actually said he would come on to your show. Like, he doesn't say that about anybody, but for you, he actually said he'd come on and talk to you.
Let's do it. Like, I mean, he's more than welcome. Like, you know what I mean? But this Giants team to me feels like I know their record is bad. I don't think this team is bad though. And I don't want to overlook this team.
So to clear up a few things, Brian Burns has an ankle injury right now.
Okay.
It doesn't mean he's not going to play. It just means that he's not going to be as explosive as he has been in other games.
Correct.
My dad said that you guys were batshit crazy to think that Jalen Hyde is a threat at all.
I was having fun with that because he's just a guy that hasn't done anything. So my thing is, don't forget about that guy that might just have to be that guy that's explosive. Like I promise you, watch Jalen Hyatt be a factor in this game. Just watch. He'll be a guy that we're just sleeping on. He'll be wide open on the back of the field. The safety will blow the coverage, and he'll get his first catch of the season.
No, he's had a catch before. He's just like one of those people, Breezy. Like, you can target him maybe 15 times throughout a year, and that's like a realistic number.
Right.
And maybe at best he'll get like maybe 2.5 catches, if that.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, I'm not saying he was a threat. I'm just saying don't forget about this kid. They have another wide receiver. Little Jordan Humphrey is probably going to be a guy that you got to definitely pay attention to, though.
So if you lock down whoever they have at tight end, you should be okay. Which is it's either Bellinger or Theo Johnson or I'm blanking on
now, so.
Well, like I said, it really depends. Like, they sometimes have to force somebody out the way that we're kind of forcing Jawan Jennings to play right now because they're so low on offensive weapons.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm sorry, I'm trying to not say it, but I can't help it. Whenever I think of him, I always say his nickname. Sexy Dexy is having one of his slower years.
He is.
But he is absolutely a threat. I don't know if Abdul Carter is off the injured list or not. And Kayvon Thibodeau, I want to warn Niner fans, please don't buy into the hype. This guy sucks. If you guys hate Jake Brendel, I promise you Kayvon Thibodeau is the Jake Brendel of defensive players. Dude literally will have his hands on his hips and just stand around and watch people run around him or barely play patty cake. Like, this guy is not a good player. And then the one time, I think, what was it, 3 years ago? They were playing, I think it was the Dolphins or something. And you remember he had that big sack, and then he did that big celebration while the guy's being carted off the field. He's just a knucklehead.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand people's fear. I mean, we didn't think that we would get destroyed by who we got destroyed by on the Houston Texans offense. So it's really up in the air. The thing I'm most worried about is MetLife, which to me it's still funny that they try to push that narrative that it's the safest stadium to play on.
Nah, that can't be.
They pushed it on
maybe it is for
Good
every
Morning
other
Football
team.
and the Insiders podcast, Breezy, back-to-back days, 2 weeks ago. It was hilarious at the owners meeting.
Unless they change that field with natural grass, hell no. You know what I'm saying? That's a big no. And it's just for us as the fans, the trauma is real. I mean, I can't even imagine what the players feel like. I'm sure they're oh, it's just a game. We got to do it, whatever. But I'm sure some of those players are yo, this is the field that took out several players. You had Nick Bosa on the ACL. You had Solomon Thomas ACL. You had, is this the game? This is not the game George Kittle got the high ankle sprain, is it?
No, George never played at MetLife, right? So that's why he said that he's never played at this stadium. He knows what they've said, but he's never played there. Because remember,
Jimmy Garoppolo had the high ankle sprain. I just can't remember if it was Jets or Giants.
It was the Jets game, and that was also the game that Raheem Mostert got hurt as well.
Right. But
so they were back-to-back MetLife games. Yeah.
Right.
So everyone pretty much got hurt in the first game, and then people survived for the second game. That's when Brandon Ayuk had his first touchdown in the second game against the Giants.
Right.
And you remember Nick Mullins cleaning up the pylon, and he was stacking it at the end.
Sure do. Sure do.
But yeah, I think it's a little weird that you had Mac Jones kind of caping for that stadium with his presser. I thought it was a little weird. George saying it's just a turf, he's heard the noise, but it doesn't matter to him. So I really hope, because there has been so much turnover, that they actually don't fear the field, because I think that's the worst thing that they could have going into this game.
In their head,
I think if they're, especially with so many people having hamstrings or ankles or knee issues, the worst thing that your team could do right now is just psych themselves out because of the field, not because of who's lining up across from them.
So I think it's more us, right? It's more the fans. Me personally, I just want the guys to go out there and play football. But I think the fans are oh,
but we're scarred for a reason.
Let's be honest.
It's not just that stadium; it's the season. It's multiple seasons. It's
Correct.
just you're just begging. Can someone just be out for a week at this point? Can someone just be out for 2 weeks? It's gotten that bad. But I do think that. I mean, personally, I would love to have the people who've actually played on that stadium play this game. So I would like to have Jason Pinnock on this game. I would like to have Trent Williams kind of calm down the offensive line, because these people are used to this kind of field, even if it has been years. So, but I'm excited because I'm really excited just to have Mike Andrews is coming to the party tomorrow. like you don't understand. Like I'm like dying just to meet any of you like in person.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
So
It's gonna be fun. As far as the game, that's a whole nother day. As far as the party, it's definitely gonna be an experience that you want to experience. It's just fun because just
I
imagine
wanted
being
to ask
around
you
all Niner
who
fans.
you thought was going to pick off Jackson Dart because I don't know if you guys watched it, but in that Saints game,
Yeah.
you remember he got really desperate and he had those 5 turnovers back to back drives.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got like a little bit of Brett Favre.
He's a gunslinger, 100%. He's a gunslinger with wheels, though. Like, don't get it twisted. He will run the ball.
Okay, so my dad actually told me to tell you about that. He said that don't worry about that as much because I think it was, what was it?
Is it the game when he got hurt?
It was 2 weeks ago when he was in the blue tent and
he got hit a certain way.
Yeah, they've been telling him to like, dude, back the fuck off.
Yeah, like he got hit a certain way.
I actually thought they were gonna take a pick away from them for that because he got caught, I think, 3 times going into the tent, Brian Daboll.
Yes.
And then you remember at the end, they caught him pushing Kim Scatterboo into the tent.
Yo, he got hit so hard that he got a concussion. I don't know how he cleared that, but he came back in the game, finished out the game, whatever. But he was done. And so I'm hoping he doesn't run. But here's my thing. It's not about design runs that worry me. It's more when the San Francisco 49ers, the linebackers are playing coverage, they're deep back, and he has 10, 15 yards in front of him. And if he's not going to make that pass, he's probably going to pull off and run. We've seen Kyler Murray do it. We've seen Russell Wilson do it. You've seen these types of quarterbacks.
We've seen Patrick Mahomes do it.
All the time. But Patrick is really looking to throw the ball. But like at the end of the day, like we just seen those type of quarterbacks. If the Niners give him that grace, which in space, that's what concerns me. I'm hoping there's a spy. If D Winters is healthy, he would be the guy I want to spy, opposed to any other linebacker. He's the one with the speed. You can spy him. I'm not worried about him being the runner, but it's more on the third downs. If it's 3rd and 14, he's going to run for a first down. We watched Baker Mayfield do it, and it tore us apart, right? It was like, we got him. He's in our hands. And then, nah. And next thing you know, he's getting 15 yards, and he only needed 14. That's the Jackson Dart I'm looking for. And I don't think Baker is as athletic as Jackson Dart, but the mindset is definitely more advanced than Jackson Dart's. But I think Jackson Dart is going to throw the ball.
I think Baker also had a huge chip against the Niners because he's never beat the Niners before.
Beat the Niners.
So it was 0-4 before that game.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no Bosa, so he wanted to absolutely make a statement in that game.
Yeah.
I think that this game, Trent Williams versus Sexy Dexy, is going to be interesting again. Because you remember last time they got into like a punch little thing on week 4.
So how do you see that setting up though? Because you're saying Dex gonna play on the outside?
So Sexy can do both. He mostly stays inside, but sometimes they bring him out and then they bring Carter inside, or they switch him and Burns sometimes. So it's just like it's really making it for Thibodeau. So if I were anyone, I would pick on Thibodeau. If you see 5,
I'm running toward Thibodeau. I'm running all day toward him.
I would absolutely go at Thibodeau. If you wanted to go inside, I would actually send George, I would send Pooney, and I see them like maybe Trent or Hennessy like right at Sexy Dexy and have like just block right in the middle and like open up a huge lane because they'll cut right through the linebackers. Like they'll just like they won't even have to try for the second level. Like they'll just like break right through.
I saw some really interesting shit on film last week. Like I saw Matt Hennessy pull from the center position to block the edge rusher, Will Anderson. I've never seen anything like that. And I was like,
I think they were trying too hard.
It wasn't him. That was the play. It was the design of the play. It was
no. I didn't say him. I didn't say him, Breezy. I think they were trying too hard to test him out at different positions, try different things. I think they thought that because CJ had struggled so hard before that game, I thought that they thought this was one of those games where Kyle could like kind of do his like little bag and test stuff out.
Okay. I just know that I don't want to see that.
And then when they got down so far,
yeah,
you know, when you couldn't get a third down, when you didn't get anything in the first quarter, I think that's when things kind of like became like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, this is everything that we planned for.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But just to see that was weird because I wouldn't want my center unless it's in a run block down the field, like trying to block the edge, and he's not even set to block the edge. Like his job is to block these nose guys up front, these big 300-pound linemen up front. But to see him pull was just like, okay. And then we're going to get mad at Hennessy for giving up the pressure. But why? He shouldn't have even been there. So, like, my thing is their defensive line is strong. I think that's their strength because they don't have any corners. A lot of their corners are not going to play in this game. So their best cornerback is Drew.
Don't mention Banks.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Banks is a dirty word in this household.
I wasn't.
Deontay Banks is just awful.
So their corners, he's bad. God dang. So and then their safety, Javon Holland. You know, like it's just
he's injured too.
He's dealing with an injury. He was limited at practice on yesterday, so we'll see what happens today. But you know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun watching what the Niners are going to do to overcome their strengths, which I think is the defensive line, and I really think you can run on it. I truly do. They're 30 for a reason.
Do you remember 2019, the game where you broke your speaker on your phone? You were at
what game was that?
The divisional round for the Vikings game. You remember you got really hyped up?
Yep.
You were at Santa Clara.
I think. Yep.
And do you remember that game where everybody and their mother had a sack? Even Solomon Thomas?
Yes.
I think if any game is going to be like that, it's going to be this game.
Okay.
I think Illuminor is absolutely easy to get past. I think Andrew Thomas is their best offensive line player, but he could also get gotten. It really depends if John Michael Schmitz is back at center or if it's the backup, because the backup he's a lot better than John Michael Schmitz, let's just be honest. I don't know if Evan Neal is playing. I really forget who their left guard is, but I think this is the one game, if there was ever a game where these guys got some like confidence in themselves, if they ever could take off, this is the perfect get right game.
So there it is. You heard it first right here. This is the get right game for the San Francisco 49ers defense. I can tell you right now, I know one person that's going to be fired up, and that's Robert Saleh. He's going to have this defense so fired up, and I wouldn't be surprised if this defense ends up with some type of a defensive score.
I hope he has a long lecture with these guys about what to wear, though.
Oh, trust me. That's all going to be taken care of. I think these guys understand the field.
I think that's when things got ugly for him last year once Quinnen Williams and everybody else started getting injured. I think that's right when things clicked off. But if I had one warning for anyone for this game, don't do punch outs.
So you want them to wrap and tackle, period.
I want you to just play as cleanly as you can possibly, because I promise you the worst thing you could do is land wrong, get a leg caught under someone, have your toes just like get stuck in the turf and then your ankle turns the wrong way. Like with the Malik Neighbors thing, it didn't look ugly, but when he landed, you saw his entire leg shake.
Yeah.
And then just like it gave out. Like, this is the one stadium you don't want to put yourself at risk. So if you had any kind of Fred warning in the back of your head, do not be reckless. Do not take bad dives. Just play clean, get the guy around the legs as possible, and just like stop the play. Because I promise you, these guys are not going to walk through your arms.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to jump off here and get ready for my day, but I appreciate you for coming on here. It's good to hear from you.
And happy Halloween to everybody.
Yes, happy Halloween. I'll see you this weekend.
You're coming down?
Yeah, I'm coming down.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm coming down. So I should be there. Tomorrow it's going to be weird. So, like, if you, like, I'm going to try to be there at some point tomorrow. If not, I'm definitely going to be there on Sunday in the morning. So if you could come to the tailgate, whatever, I'll get you in there. Like, just come. Then you could tailgate, and they'll probably have the game on at the parking lot anyway, at the tailgate. So just come if you can.
I would love that.
All right.
I'm just glad that you guys are gonna be there. Like you
Yeah,
and Mike
you'll
are the
see Mike
reason why I
tomorrow
love
probably. More
you
than
and
likely,
Mike
you'll
are
see Mike
the
tomorrow.
reason why I love this community so much. Like you guys, ever since
Thank
that
you.
first phone call. So
Yeah, that's my guy. That's
actually,
a
I
funny
want to
dude.
ask you something real quick.
Oh, you asked me who was gonna interceptions. I got to answer that question. I think a safety will get an interception in this game. I'm not gonna say which one, but I'll put it like this. I'll give you a hint. It will be his first career interception.
So Marquis Siegel.
I ain't saying his name. I'm just gonna say it'll be his first career interception.
I wanted to ask you, did you want to have Tig just go to Trenton, New Jersey and go be with his key and be like completely away from the stadium?
Do you want me to go to Trenton? To
No,
do
did
what?
you want Tig? Jair Brown.
I want Tig to figure out how to play fucking football. Like that's like he's been playing football his whole life. Why does he look confused on the football field? I'm not over the kid yet. The kid has talent. The kid is a tackling, surefire box safety, but he's built like a coverage safety. And so maybe he needs a different set of shoulder pads so we can get different, like, whatever. I don't know. But for some reason, the defense not clicking to him as far as what his roles and responsibilities are. And he's taking the worst angles. All of our safeties, though. Not one of our safeties are good when it comes to coverage. They all take poor angles. I will say that Siegel has the speed to keep up or recover. Not keep up, but recover. But even his angles are poor. But I expect that from the rookie. But the other guys, even Mustafa, it's just like, man, you guys are thumpers, but damn, y'all struggle in coverage. And that's the issue.
I also think the soft zone thing is not helping at all. When you're letting these guys run like 5-6 extra yards because you're trying to stop these big plays,
you gotta
that's really fucking with their confidence.
I don't understand the soft zone. I've never been a fan of the soft zone. Even when I play Madden, I'm pressing like a motherfucker. Like I'm moving them up. If you beat me off the press, oh well, my guys is weak. They weak. These guys don't appear to be weak. They look strong. So let them play press. Like Renardo Green, he's a press man. Okay, Demo can play off. And if you watch what we're doing, that's the unbalance, right? So you'll see Demo shaded off like 5-7 yards, and then you'll see more of the other corner more on a press, whether you press it in zone or you press whatever. You see that, but that's my biggest gripe. I don't understand why they play so far off. They're automatically giving up the slants. Automatically. I don't know.
You know how I feel about Saul in the soft zone, but I wanted to ask you a quick. Mike got me this rally towel from the Packers game, the divisional round from 2 years ago, and I won a Birth of a Dynasty little like plaque on it, which I added to the rally towel. I was wondering if I could get you and Mike to sign it because that would be really awesome.
Absolutely.
Because my wall needs a little bit more Breezy and Mike. So I don't know if you can see it right there. I put the little Birth of a Dynasty right here under the rally towel.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll get you. I'll definitely sign it. Mike will definitely sign it. I'll talk to him after I finish here. Like I said, you'll probably see him on Saturday, and if you're able to come out Sunday because it's right there in your neighborhood, you'll definitely see me on Sunday. Saturday is a work day for me, so I gotta.
And I hope Rome has a nice Halloween.
Yeah, he's dressed up as a dragon, like the dragon from Game of Thrones dragon.
That's nice.
This is definitely interesting. He's scared of them, but he decided to dress up as one of them. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, you have the Celtics game tonight, so
yeah, I'll be working though, so I won't. I'll have it on, and if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. It's a lot of basketball left. I'm so more worried about us getting this dub on Sunday and getting back into like just the rhythm of who we are. Like I just felt like those two AFC. I know we lost 3 games, and I know we lost to the Bucks, but I feel like those 2 AFC games, the game plan was just trash. There was no game plan. It was just like, let's come out here and see what happens, and whatever happens, happens. We were trying to beat the Bucks for sure, but I think that the Niners can't fall. I'm not saying this is a trap game, but they can't lose to the Giants. for them having a bad season. They can't lose to the Giants. And if they do, we'll be back here therapeuting ourselves throughout the week, right?
We survived worse. But it's definitely going to be fun. I really want to know if they have Brian Robinson Jr. back to return punts. Because
I like that, though. Did you like him back there?
Breezie, oh my God.
Yes,
I nearly knocked my Kindle to the ground and like almost smashed the screen. Like I got so excited.
Dude had 3 returns for 99 yards. And I think that last one he had, if he didn't get the face mask, he probably would have broke that tackle and he was gone.
I think he's got a little Elijah Mitchell in him. Like, I think if he honestly just got a fair shake and got like a little steam engine, he could just take off. But it's definitely interesting.
It is. But Melissa, I appreciate you for jumping on and thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to the faithful. Appreciate you. And I'll see you this weekend.
Okay, bye.
All right, faithful. That's the end of the show for today. Shout out to Melissa for jumping on. That was really cool. It's always a good thing to hear and see Melissa and get her takes on it. She is a football 49er connoisseur. She's an NFL connoisseur, but she just knows the Niners and her dad's Giants. They're that's funny. That's funny. He told me I just be having fun. I'll be double dog damned if Jalen Hyatt catches a pass in this game. But don't be mad if he does, because I will say I tried to tell y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew members out there, everybody listening to on the podcast. Make sure you guys go ahead and leave a review. That is important. We do the show Mondays and Fridays, so make sure you leave a review. Check out the Nitty Gritty Niners Talk podcast too. It's a totally separate entity, so make sure you guys check that out. You can find that on Spotify as well, and you can check out the Nitty Gritty Niners show from last night as we preview the game. You guys have been amazing. I think there was a question out there that I wanted to see. Navarre News. How do the Rams keep Stafford upright and the Steelers keep Rodgers, who's 72, upright? But we go through 2 to 3 quarterbacks per year. Well, part is because, their offensive line is a little different. But I really think Stafford and Rodgers, who are 2 savvy veterans in this league, help their offensive line. The issue to me with our offensive line is Brock Purdy not playing. If Brock was playing, the offensive line wouldn't look as bad. So I think there are times where the quarterbacks do help the offensive line out. And I think Brock was one of those types. He has that quick processing. He has that mentality. He can extend plays. Same thing you see from Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody other than Patrick Mahomes can extend plays better than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is like 72. And he still extended plays. Matter of fact, there was a play in the last game. I know they lost, but this dude was getting pressure and wrapped around him, and he still had the cognitive ability to throw the ball at the feet of his receiver. And it wasn't intentional grounding. It was an incomplete pass. Like, that's a gift. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a gift. So, guys, That's my answer to that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for saying great show. Appreciate you guys out there. Love you guys. I'll see you guys on the reaction. I'm going to do a reaction show live from the game. So make sure you stay locked in here, right here. Make sure your alerts are set to all and on. I'm going live. Win or lose, I'm going to react, and it's going to be fun. Make sure you stay tuned in. Keep it faithful to the Bay. Peace.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.